If you guys are looking for some fancy edits and transitions, look away because this is going to be a simple video. For a decade now, both Kobo and Amazon have had experimental features and, with Kobo, beta features. Today we're going to look at all of the beta features on the Clara 2e. Now, it's only going to be as fast as your internet, of course, number one. And number two, there are limitations with ebook readers running web browsers. And I'm not talking about like an Onyx tablet with an e-paper screen. I'm talking about ebook readers. You'll see there's a slider issue on our site, but it's not really on our site because our slider works perfectly fine. It actually is that the e-reader can't support it. So you are going to find compatibility and support issues with ebook readers. Also, there's no system-wide A2 mode, which means it's quite slow. You do have a little bit of a faux A2 mode like so when you're moving around, but that's the extent of how fast you can actually make this. Also, there's no inertia. So if you swipe and you flick the page, it just stops. It doesn't actually continue on congruent to how fast you flicked it. You also have a bar here so you can make it bigger or smaller via the zoom, or you could do pinch and zooms as well. But doing this actually retains the ratio of the actual characters and everything, so it is kind of keeping it reflowed with the slider bar, whereas if you pinch and zoom, it does actually just zoom the current state as it is. So if you click on something, you can go ahead and dive in a little deeper. Of course, ads and everything plays, so that's all nice and fine and dandy, but overall, I wouldn't use this if you're definitely getting into a device that you need a web browser for. It is quite slow. Next is large print mode. Let's go ahead and toggle that on, and then we will X out and we'll see what everything looks like. So this is a side-by-side of exactly what these two look like, and you can see it is quite different as everything has been more expanded and just kind of beefed up, and the contrast has been increased across basically everything you see here. Something else you can do with large print mode is expand the font scale all the way up to 180. Doing so increases the amount of pages because less characters are actually fitting on the screen, so you'll have to kind of swipe up and down to now find those. And when you go home, everything's going to be super condensed, and you'll see that everything's kind of right up against each other, right up against the borders, making full use of the absolute super small scale of the screen real estate, but it does do it in such a way where you still kind of get a sense of where you are, although it is a little bit troublesome. I would recommend a little bit lower, but honestly, if it's nice that it's there if you're having trouble with seeing, if you just want to maximize the screen real estate. Sketchpad. We covered this in the review. It's very weird. I'm not sure why it's here, to be completely honest, because unlike the Sage and the Ellipsa that have EMR screens with pens, active capacitive pens, this doesn't. And unlike the Pocketbook line that has different styles of pens, different pen thicknesses, even add text and erasers, this doesn't have that. And this is all it has, is just a little bit of a sketch. Now granted, it's quite fast. To be completely honest, it's very fast, it's very responsive, and it's faster than Pocketbook devices. With a Pocketbook, if you draw a line, that line would be all pixelated and it would be chopped until it rendered, at which point it would look very good. This is actually looking very good right out of the gates. I would have liked to see some sort of palette up top so we can have a little bit more function, because all you have is refresh, undo, redo, and quit. If you save it, it saves it as an SVG, which is a very obscure format, and it doesn't even save it under a sketch folder. You'll see it just puts it under books. And if you go to books, authors, series, or collections, or the filter, there's no way to filter the actual sketches. And when you go to a sketch like so, one we did earlier, you can't edit it. There's nothing you can do. It's simply just stamped on there as an SVG file format, and you can't do anything else with it. You can move it around, you can put it on your PC, all that kind of thing, but it is uneditable once you put it on the book section. Lastly, we have My Words. We'll leave it off for a second and I'll show you why. If we go to a book over here and we long press on a word, compliments, go ahead and long press on that, you see nothing up top. You actually can't save this word. You can highlight it, but you can't actually save it. And what I mean by that is if we go back and we go to more, then we go to beta features and we click on My Words, we can now go back to the book, the same book we were on, long press any word, but we'll do the same one, and you'll now see add to my words. If I click add to my words, you can say got it, and then it will be in there indexed. After you've added a bunch of words, all you do is go to more, and then you go to activity. Activity will have reading, stats, awards, and my words. If you click on the words, it'll define it for you and tell you where you got it from as well, and you can view it in the book if you still have it on your device. If you click on it like that, it'll just move over to the book. So that's very well integrated. These are all of the beta features on the latest possible purchasable Kobo, which is the Kobo Clara 2e. For GoodyReader.com, this is Peter.